It's going to be a big transfer window for Manchester United in the summer with potentially 4, 5 players coming in, a huge midfield revamp. In this video, we'll be looking at my dream slash ideal window, players who I think Manchester United should bring in. We're talking about price, budget, suitability to the team. And again, it's been a big break for Manchester United. It's been already 2 weeks since we last played our game against Bournemouth. But yeah, with United not playing, I thought why not look at it. So I've identified some positions. We'll talk about the players. So let's get into it. Now the first position I'm going to target has to be the midfield. It's a position Manchester United must and need to strengthen. We haven't really strengthened that position in a while. I know we've brought in players, but they haven't really been for what Manchester United need. Now the first player I have identified is the one that you all know. Nottingham Forest, Elliot Anderson. He would be my dream midfield target. I think he's got everything: passing, defensive ability, the all as a complete midfielder, and he is still relatively young. Now he's 23 years of age. Forest are likely to get relegated this season. But again, even if they don't, he'd be someone that's on the move. Now City and Manchester United are both interested in him. He does have a few years left on his deal, but that does not need to be considered because it's almost guaranteed that he will be leaving. Now again, United have heavy interest in him. Apparently they're willing to break their transfer record to bring him into the club, which is around £90 million. And again, I really do like Anderson. I think he's got everything that you need. We've seen him play with Manu a few days ago in the England game, and he's definitely someone that I would love to bring in. I think he would fit well with Manu. I think again the transition would be Anderson playing more as the number 6 and letting Manu go further forward. But again, that would have to change. I don't think Manu is a number 6. We've seen him play there before, if you look at his debut game against Everton. But I think we need someone who's a number 6. And yes, Anderson might not be the perfect number 6. He definitely does have trait of being a very good number 6. He can dictate play from deep. He can control the ball. He's always looking to play forward. And if you watch any game of Anderson, he's someone who is just a key player for Nottingham Forest, especially now more recently England as well. So yeah, he's someone who has been on the rise. Again, it's not going to be a cheap deal to get done, and it's not going to be an easy deal to get done. Apparently he'd focusing on the World Cup, he said that himself, and the deal will kind of be considered after the World Cup. So it's going to be a long saga, I think, about Elliot Anderson, but I'm sure United will do everything they can to get him. I don't think we can miss out like we did Declan Rice, like we did Caicedo. We were heavily linked to Fernandes as well, so we can't really afford to miss out on him. I think Anderson's someone who would fit in this team like a glove. European experience he has, Premier League experience he's got, and he's got all the assets of what a very good midfielder would be like. Yes, he's going to cost you £100 million, but for me, at the age, the profile, he's definitely an investment that's well worth it. So he would be the first player that I would go out and get. Now, United obviously need 2 midfielders, or potentially 3. The second one I've identified is Baleba. Now, being realistic as well with all reports, United did a lot of the groundwork for that deal last summer in August when we had talks with his intermediaries, personal terms were agreed, and United wanted to see the feasibility of getting the deal done. Now, yes, it hasn't been the greatest season for Baleba. For Brighton, he hasn't played many games, or when he has been, he's been coming off at half time. But when you do watch Baleba, he is a very, very good player. Yes, he is inexperienced, and that is a matter of concern because when you do come to Manchester United, as you've seen all for some players, the pressure is ridiculous, and again, it is very, very difficult to settle in straight away. But I think Baleba, for me, at the age he's 21, so he's still got a lot of developing to do. I would say he's less of a complete player than what Anderson is. But again, he's left-footed, plays in the number 6 position. I think he'd be someone that'd be good cover. He's someone who I think is destined to join Manchester United with all the reports that have been linking him to the club. He wants to join United, which is key. There's not really been many other clubs being interested in him, and I do like Baleba. Now, my only downside is, listen, even talks about him joining United, his performances did drop. He is someone that is still learning his trade. If you look at Anderson, he's had a few more years of development, and he just looked like a better player. There are going to be games, like there will be with any player, but more so with Baleba because he's young, games where he probably doesn't play well, games where he's not great. And I don't know whether United can afford to take that risk because we just need solidified midfield players. We've seen it with the attack. When you bring in experience, yes, it took Cunha more time to kind of settle in, but you look at, he's reaping the rewards now and he's been fantastic. With Baleba, there's no doubt in the ability. I think he's got a great pass on him. He's got a great engine, someone who can break up the play. Like all of the positives that you want from a player, Baleba has. But the negatives would be, as I said, the inexperience, the drop off in performance. But yeah, he's the second player I do identify. I know that kind of segment there did sound there was a lot of negativity in it, but I do think Baleba is a very good player, and I would take him at Manchester United. Now the third position I've identified is the centre-back position. Now, the player that I want is Murillo. I've mentioned him on the channel before. Now, I've talked about Slotterbeck. More recently, he's been the centre-back that's on the radar. But again, United do need the centre-back. De Ligt and Martinez at the moment, you cannot rely on them. And Murillo, for me, again, similar to Anderson, if Forest are to go down, you'd be able to get him on a massively reduced price. Now, again, a lot of the top Premier League clubs, I don't think will need a centre-back. But if you're looking at centre-backs out there in the Premier League with that sort of experience, there's not many people like Murillo. Again, the price that's being quoted is like 60, 70 million pounds, which again is a ridiculous fee. But again, look at the quality of the player. Left-footed, modern-day centre-back. Can play out from the back, very physical, very aggressive, can score a goal if you need him to. Again, physically, like his passing's good, he can make line-breaking passes, diagonal switches, all the things you'd want from a centre-back. And again, as I've mentioned, the centre-back position is one that I think United do need to strengthen, hence why I've put him in my centre-back. As a centre-back I would sign. I think he's someone who's got it all, and yeah, he's a very modern-day centre-back, and I think he's someone that, especially in a centre-back position, Premier League experience may be the key. Now, if we're looking at downsides, at time he does get caught out, but all in all, I think he's a very, very good player. And for what United need, left centre-back, experience, 23, a few years left on his deal, but yeah, he's someone that I've identified. Now, number 4, attacker, Iliman Ndiaye. I think United definitely do need to bring in an attacker. Ndiaye, for me, is the all-round package. He's Premier League experience. He can play off the left, off the right. He can score a wicked goal. And again, United have been linked to a midfielder. There's no kind of denying that United wanted to bring in Semenyo. He was heavily on the list. United viewed it as a market opportunity. I think with United missing out on that deal, the left wing spot is definitely something that they still want. Now, obviously we have Patrick Dorgu. He's not in the squad at the moment due to injury, but he's someone who I think next season will be a key player on that left-hand side, particularly in that forward position. Now, I don't think that's enough. I think we do need to bring in a natural left winger, and Ndiaye definitely is an option. I think he's more a hear-me-out player, but again, he's someone who gets you off the edge of the seat, 1v1 dribbling, very, very good. Defensive work rate, fantastic. He's 26. He plays in the Premier League. Again, it's going to be difficult to deal with Everton because they're a team that, again, anytime you want to deal with them, they're going to charge ridiculous fees, and he'll be one of those players they're looking to keep. But again, left wingers out there, the market for me, from the research I've done, is not really many players United can bring in. So yeah, Ndiaye would be one of them. Goals, assists, just all round very, very good player. Now the 5th and final player I've identified. Now this one's a bit of a dream target. Probably won't happen this summer, but it is a left back, and it goes by the name of Lewis Hall. 21 years of age, playing in the Premier League for obviously Newcastle, a very, very good player. He's been consistently very, very good for Newcastle, and he's probably going to be England's starting left back in the World Cup. I think for me, he's one of those players that has just got everything: defensive ability, crosses into the box, work rate, he's got it all. And again, with Manchester United reliant on Luke Shaw really at their only left back at the moment, I think we do definitely need to bring in another option. And again, with us being in Europe, you need strength in depth, and Luke Shaw, he's just not the left back that he was 5 years ago. He can't go in the overlap anymore. Defensively, he's a bit shaky at times, so he'd be someone I'd definitely look at replacing, or if you are going to keep him, have him as a second choice for a bit of experience. The left backs that we have at the club, Diego Leon and others, they are still relatively inexperienced. So Lewis Hall would be mine. He's relatively young, but again, he's a very, very good player. So there have been 5 players I've identified. Bit short there, but let me know your thoughts. Who else should Manchester United bring in? Peace.